Between 1980 and 1989, 40 people were awarded acting trophies at the Academy Awards. Of those 40 wins, which ones do I think were the best? In this latest video, in my series Oscar Top 10, I'm going to choose the 10 best acting winners of the 1980s. Here we go. Number 10, Meryl Streep, Kramer vs. Kramer.
I don't know how anybody can possibly believe that I have less of a stake in mothering that little boy than Mr. Kramer does. I'm his mother. I'm his mother.
It's always mind-boggling to think just how many Oscar nominations Meryl Streep has received, 21 as of this recording, and how many she's actually won, only 3. Her first win in 1980 for the marvelous drama Kramer vs. Kramer, one of my all-time favorite films, is a great one. Streep's performance as a mother named Joanna who leaves her husband and son to go find herself, only to return months later and demand she have her little boy back, finds just the right note, Joanna never becoming a villain, the viewer always understanding of her motivation and intention. This was Streep's major breakthrough after her excellent turn the year before in The Deer Hunter, a sign of all the astonishing work she was going to deliver in the coming decades.
Holy mackerel. I'd like to thank Dustin Hoffman and Robert Benton, to whom I owe this.
Number 9, Katharine Hepburn on Golden Pond.
Norman! Come here. Norman! Hurry up. The loons. They're welcoming us back.
She's still the only person to date to win 4 Academy Awards for acting, her first win way back in 1934 for Morning Glory, her final win in 1982 for her warm and compassionate performance in On Golden Pond, one of the greatest movies ever made about an elderly couple, their triumphs, and their struggles. I find it so special and unique that Hepburn and Henry Fonda managed to go decades without ever making a movie together, but then came on board this one project in the twilight of their careers. Some might argue Hepburn won her 4th Oscar for sentimental reasons, but I've always found her performance in On Golden Pond endearing and so very moving.
I'll dispense with the cards and just say that I don't think that there's anyone here or watching who doesn't appreciate the amount of love and gratitude represented by this Oscar selection tonight. And we all send our love to Katharine.
Number 8, Ben Kingsley, Gandhi.
My dear Jinnah, you and I are brothers born of the same mother India. If you have fears, I want to put them at rest.
One of the most competitive Best Actor races in the 1980s absolutely arrived in 1983 when the great Ben Kingsley beat out Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie and Paul Newman in The Verdict to take the Academy Award. Beating Newman was especially impressive given that the beloved blue-eyed actor was on his 7th Oscar nomination without ever having a win, but voters just couldn't deny the incredible Ben Kingsley performance in Richard Attenborough's historical biopic Gandhi. He is complex, commanding, mesmerizing all the way through, holding the entirety of this 3-hour-plus epic on his shoulders so beautifully.
And for all the men and women who worked on the film, this is an Oscar for vision, for courage, and for acting, and for peace. Thank you.
Number 7, Marlee Matlin, Children of a Lesser God.
Until you let me be an I the way you are, you can never come inside my silence and know me.
Still the youngest Best Actress winner at the Academy Awards in history, only 21 years old at the time, Marlee Matlin also remained the only deaf performer to win an Oscar for acting, that is until Troy Kotsur won Best Supporting Actor earlier this year for his performance in Coda, also starring Matlin. Telling the story of a new speech teacher at a school for the deaf who falls in love with the janitor Sarah, Children of a Lesser God was a major awards player in early 1987, the film securing Oscar nominations for Best Picture, Best Actor for William Hurt, and Best Supporting Actress for Piper Laurie. But it was Matlin's performance that resonated the most with awards voters, so much of her humanity coming through scene after scene, an actress in just her early 20s, so wise beyond her years.
I just want to thank a lot of people To tell you the truth, I didn't prepare for this speech, but I definitely want to thank the Academy and its members.
Number 6, F. Murray Abraham, Amadeus.
Is it not good?
It is miraculous.
It's hard to believe that the Best Actor Oscar race in early 1985 marked the last time, still to this day, that two male actors from the same movie appeared in the category together. And it's a practice I kind of miss. These days, two actors from the same film with similar amounts of screen time often getting separated in the lead and supporting categories. Think Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara from Carol. But back in 1985, Academy voters had to decide who they liked best from Milos Forman's extraordinary real-life epic film, Amadeus. Did they like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, played by Tom Hulce, or did they prefer the jealous composer Antonio, played by F. Murray Abraham? Alas, the voters went with Abraham for his stunning, unforgettable portrayal, so masterful all the way through.
It's easy to gamble everything when you've got nothing to lose, and Milos Forman had a great deal to lose when he gave these brilliant roles to Tom Hulce and me, and his courage became my inspiration. There's only one thing that's missing for me tonight, and that is to have Tom Hulce standing by my side.
Number 5, Sally Field, Norma Ray.
You want laundry? You got laundry. You want ironing? You got ironing. You want to make love? You get behind me and lift up my nightie and we're going to make love.
The amazing Sally Field won 2 Academy Awards in the 1980s for Norma Ray in 1980 and for Places in the Heart in 1985. The immortal Oscar acceptance speech you're probably familiar with was her second one, where she said this:
"The first time I didn't feel it, but this time I feel it, and I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me."
But the better performance she received the Oscar for was absolutely Norma Ray, the single mother and textile worker who helped unionize her mill. After her Emmy-winning turn in 1976's Sybil, opposite Joanne Woodward, Field appeared in the box office behemoth Smokey and the Bandit, and then impressed audiences, critics, and Academy voters with her phenomenal performance in Norma Ray.
And on a personal note, I'd like to thank my mother and my sister for holding me together and just plain old holding me. And my kids, Peter and Eli, for being my constant inspiration. And no matter how many awards I win, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be worth a damn. Thank you very much.
Number 4, Sissy Spacek, coal miner's daughter.
What'd you get me a guitar for?
Because I like the way you sing.
You really think I sing good?
Baby, I know you do.
One of my favorite actresses of all time is the wonderful Sissy Spacek, and it always makes my heart happy to remember she is indeed an Academy Award winner. She might have lost to Halle Berry in 2002 when she was nominated for her devastating turn in the Bedroom, and she might have also lost to Faye Dunaway in 1977 when she received a rare acting nomination for a horror film with Brian De Palma's Carrie. But it feels right that the role she won for was that of country singer Loretta Lynn in Michael Apted's drama biopic Coal Miner's Daughter, co-starring Tommy Lee Jones. Spacek ages from her teen years all the way to her 30s throughout the film seamlessly, her scenes of emotional drama and powerhouse singing always sensational.
All the cast and crew that worked on Coal Miner's Daughter, I share this with you and I love you. And Mom and Daddy, I love you too.
Number 3, Henry Fonda on Golden Pond.
That's why I came running back here to you. See your pretty face. I could feel safe. I was still me.
As I said a few minutes ago, I adore Katharine Hepburn in this simply gorgeous film, but I love Henry Fonda's work even more, and this Oscar win especially is so near and dear to my heart. Jane Fonda purchased the rights to the play on Golden Pond specifically to get a chance to act in a movie with Henry the dynamic between daughter and father in real life, similar to the relationship we see play out in the movie. Their scenes together feel so incredibly painful and real, but Henry Fonda's performance as a whole is one of his very best in his long career, going all the way back to the 1930s. His fear of growing older palpable and relatable, his humor and sweetness and joy always coming through. He rarely was recognized by the Academy, only receiving one previous nomination for acting for The Grapes of Wrath in 1941, and how bittersweet that he finally won the Best Actor Oscar for On Golden Pond only a few months before his death. He was too sick to attend the ceremony, so Jane accepted the award on his behalf.
And I know that lastly, but really first, he is thanking Shirley Fonda, who has been his loving support for 17 years, who he calls his Rock of Gibraltar. I think she's his Ethel Thayer. Dad, me, and all the grandchildren are coming over with it right away. Thank you.
Number 2, Robert De Niro, Raging Bull.
Why?
The best male performance of the 1980s has to be Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's absolutely brilliant black and white drama, Raging Bull, about the boxer Jake LaMotta, whose massive temper led him to the top of the ring and destroyed his life in the process. After impressing in 1970s films like Taxi Driver and The Deer Hunter, De Niro showed off everything he was capable of in Raging Bull. And it's not just the applause-worthy physical transformation he undergoes, in tremendous shape for his scenes as the younger Jake, the actor then gaining a crazy 60 pounds to play the older, faded Jake. He's also transformative on an emotional level. His scenes with Joe Pesci and Kathy Moriarty, always electric, his moments of both huge triumph and quiet heartache, the kind that remind you why Robert De Niro is one of our very best.
Marty Scorsese, who gave me and all the other actors and everyone on the film all the love and trust that anyone could give anyone, and it's just wonderful as a director.
Before we get to my top choice, here are the 5 runners-up. Michael Douglas, Wall Street. He's been great in so many movies, especially The American President, The Game, and Fatal Attraction, but it's his charismatic, chilling turn as Gordon Gekko that will go down in history as his finest work ever. Timothy Hutton, Ordinary People. Hutton's devastating performance in Robert Redford's magnificent family drama might have made my top 10 list if this wasn't one of the most outrageous examples of category fraud. Hutton winning in the supporting acting category when he should have been in lead. But on the other hand, he was never going to beat De Niro, so I guess it's nice, in retrospect, that he got a gold trophy for his great work in the film. Shirley MacLaine, Terms of Endearment. Thank God the delightful Shirley MacLaine finally won an Academy Award on her 6th try, after plenty of deserving performances in films like The Apartment and The Turning Point. As the complex Aurora in James L. Brooks' tender dramedy, MacLaine proved why she's always been an actress of the highest order. Sean Connery, The Untouchables. My favorite supporting actor win of this decade goes to the legendary Connery. Famous for playing James Bond, of course, but with a great script and character, he could be a truly dynamic actor, and he was never better than he was in Brian De Palma's kinetic action drama The Untouchables, Connery bringing both gravitas and unexpected vulnerability to the role. Dustin Hoffman, Kramer vs. Kramer. He's solid in Rain Man, the other performance Hoffman won a Best Actor Oscar for in the 1980s, but the role I'm partial to is that of the hard-working Ted, who suddenly finds himself the sole parent of a young boy after his wife suddenly leaves. Kramer vs. Kramer is an extraordinary piece of filmmaking with one hugely talented cast. That includes Hoffman, that includes Justin Henry, who became one of the youngest performers ever to earn an Academy Award nomination at the age of 7, and that includes Meryl Streep, my number 10 pick for the Best Acting Oscar wins of the 1980s. Wow, only number 10 for the all-time great Meryl Streep? If only she could be higher on the list. If only she could have won an Oscar for something else that decade. If only... Yeah, I wasn't able to fool you for 1 second, was I? My choice, easily, for the number 1 acting win at the Oscars in the 1980s is Meryl Streep, of course, for her landmark performance in Sophie's Choice.
Zwingen Sie mich nicht zu wählen. Ich kann nicht wählen.
Ich schicke Sie beide darüber.
Nicht wählen.
Nehmen Sie beide Kinder weg.
Now, if there's one thing I don't like about Streep's performance as Sophie, the survivor of the Nazi concentration camp, is that she's so unbelievably brilliant in one scene after another that I think it became difficult for Academy voters to reward her for her later performances simply because it became impossible for Streep to ever top this one. I think she has deserved wins for The Bridges of Madison County, Adaptation, Doubt, but there was always that belief among many voters, I'd argue, that she'd already won 2 Oscars before, and she'd already won for her finest work ever, Sophie's Choice. But hey, what a glorious role this was to win an Academy Award for, one of the great cinematic performances of all time, Streep disappearing into the complicated Sophie in a way that's a wonder to behold. She's funny and charming and romantic in her scenes with Kevin Kline and Peter MacNicol, and she just keeps making you cry in those horrific flashback scenes to the concentration camps. The fluctuations in her physical appearance, powerful and jarring, the film's signature scene making a lasting scar on any viewer's aching heart. When she opens her mouth to scream and no sound comes out, you feel it every single time. Meryl Streep is indeed the best of the best, and she's never been greater in her long and celebrated career than she was in Alan J. Pakula's rich, haunting masterpiece, Sophie's Choice.
Everything that I had, I got from looking in their eyes, and for the great love they gave me for 5 months, I thank Kevin Kline and Peter MacNicol. And I thank you all very much.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what are your favorite acting Oscar wins from the 1980s. Is there anyone you think I left off the list? See you next time.